On April 25th, a new achievement type was announced on the Super AutoPets test servers. You can get a medal for having a flawless arena win with a level 3 pet. Getting a flawless win in arena is absurdly hard. So when I saw this announcement, I immediately thought this was a terrible idea. Just how hard is it? Well, for comparison, I played around 100 arenas and I wasn't able to get a single flawless arena with a level 3 pet. And in that same amount of runs, for my ribbon collecting speedrun, I was basically able to collect all the ribbons in 100 runs. So 100 runs to get all the ribbons, or 100 runs to get 0 flawless arenas. What's worse about getting these flawless arena wins is that it promotes a lot of questionable tactics. For example, I realized that the best way to get them was to abandon repeatedly. But after I abandoned so much I got into the abandoned hat category, I realized there's a problem. Everybody that's in this abandoned category is also going for these flawless arena wins, and they have always the most absurd teams. So the best way to do it is to avoid the abandoned hat category by playing an arena, losing, and if you lose once, sell all your teams and end turn. Since you're ending the game not by quitting but just losing, you don't get sent into the abandoned hat category. I think in any achievement where the difficulty is so high that these type of tactics are encouraged, it's not healthy for the game. Luckily, the developers also thought the original was way too hard to achieve, so they reduced the achievement so you can now earn medals as long as you don't have any losses. So you can get it with any level pet now. Despite making it easier, I'm not quite sure if I think this is still a good idea to have. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the flawless arena win that I had. The pack I chose to go for a flawless run was the weekly pack. This is mostly because I think that out of all the other choices, the weekly pack is the least solved. My opening strat here is to just go for ladybugs, and this is something I never do, but start buying food. And this is because with everybody else going for the flawless runs, you need to guarantee your early game winning with as much tempo as you can, and there's nothing that beats ladybug temporary stats. By the time we reach the end of turn 2, we already have a level 2 ladybug and a mouse prepared. So every single turn, if we feel like we're slightly behind that power curve, all we need to buy is a food or two and we're good to go. Of course, that can be quite costly, but at least it kind of guarantees our win. You can see, despite having bought a food and +3/+3 temporary stats on 3 ladybugs, we still barely managed to win. Going for a flawless run requires careful planning and also a lot of luck. And you can see we do get quite lucky. We see an early dog, and then soon thereafter in one roll we see a shrimp. These two together are going to give us a lot of stats we need to try to guarantee that we win. And yet again, we barely win with 1 HP left over. Now, in this next turn, turn 4, we want to start scaling our pets. We've got a shrimp and we've got a dog. And since we want to scale our long-term units, which is probably going to be maybe shrimp, dog, and ladybug, we're going to go ahead and sell off our pig and our ant. I do decide to buy a croissant here because the shrimp is going to give a lot of health over time, and more importantly, we need to round off some of the stats with a croissant, which gives +1 attack at the end of each turn. Also, when we do buy the croissant, the +2/+2 temporary stats on the ladybug is really nice. Because we did eat the food, our team is fairly strong. I like to put the ladybug in the back to try to avoid meat bones and clean up all the small units in the back. Turn 5 is when we really start to get our buy-sell strategy going. Of course, we would very much prefer a level 2 dog before we do the buy-sells, but the odds are not there. We kind of have to let the dogs fall into our laps if they do come, but in the meantime we just mind our own business by selling anything that has value. The meat bone is going to be a really nice 5 attack to round off all the health on the dog right now, and we're going to go ahead and end the turn on a turtle, which is perfect for our team as we have something with high attack and high health, and it balances out how weak the goldfish picker is. This next turn, we're faced with a hard decision. We like our goldfish, we like our turtle, and we like our shrimp. But ultimately, I think the shrimp has to go first. You'll notice, after a couple buy sells, I'm able to buy 2 dogs on this turn. This is incredibly lucky because just of how few shops were rolling, seeing 2 dogs is a very, very low probability event. After careful consideration, I do decide that I need to spend the free apple this turn in order to remain above the power curve. Ultimately, it's the melon that the turtle gave that made the difference of this fight. This upcoming turn is critically important. It's turn 7, tier 4s are now unlocked, and there is a buffalo that we really want to see. Of course, same as before, we can't really hard roll into buffaloes because it's just a death wish if you get unlucky. We just kind of have to buy buffaloes when we see them. After buying our discounted pets, we roll and we get pretty unlucky again. We see a lynx. 2 lynxes. This is a pretty strong pet as it will deal 6 damage before combat, potentially knocking out all the fat toads by the way, and then serve as another high attack unit to trade off before our big ladybug and big dog tries to clean up. So this next fight, the lynx will do 7 damage at the beginning of the battle. As you can see, it hits the 1 unit that had more than 7 health, but we were still barely able to eke away with another win. This next turn, we have our buffalo. And this is actually going to be the hardest decision I made this game, that every single turn we had a turtle which helped us win the fight, but now that we have a buffalo, we don't actually have enough space to buy and sell unless we sell off our turtle. And ultimately I decided that it is necessary for the long-term future. With 6 gold left, I decided that it might be potentially worth leveling up, so I do a quick check on the available pets. So if we were to level up this turn, we have the potential to see a poodle, cow, zebra for stats, and if we do see a crocodile, we might pick it up for tempo. However, if we wait a turn for potentially seeing an early tier 6, we actually don't even have as much pets that we want to see, so I decided to just level up this turn. Unfortunately, we see a seal here. I don't think we want to transition to a food build here because it locks up our team, and buy-sell is actually currently more stats than the food that we would get to feed on the seal. I didn't feel the need to buy any food at the end of this turn because we have a level 2 lynx, and from my experience, this team is going to dominate most other teams on this turn. So finally, I decided to buy a pineapple for our lynx. This will deal 2 extra damage, so this will do a total of 10 damage to 2 random units. I do questionably buy the chocolate here. It does provide the temporary stats on the ladybug, but with only 2 wins left, I think it's very unlikely that I would ever get a level 2 buffalo to start buy-selling from. I end my turn on a toad, and I only use 1 of the 2 milks from the cows because I want to save the temporary stats for the next turn. I feel very, very strong for this next fight. This is a pretty easy fight, and after this, we've only got 1 more round, and then we've got our flawless medals. Luckily, this arena run was recorded after they made the change. To get the flawless medals, I don't need the level 3 pets. If we did, I probably would lose this round because I would have spent so much gold rolling and so much money rolling for useless level 3 pets that I would have just lost. On this turn, I'm just going to buy any useful food that I see, including a cupcake by the way, because really we're sprinting to the finish while all the other teams are just jogging for the marathon. With all the food that we bought and being able to end on a turtle, the only thing that we're missing to win this fight is if you guys could like this video and subscribe to my channel. For this fight, I'm gonna slow down the beginning and you guys can watch the lynx just destroy their team comp. With their combo broken, this is just an easy win. 5 flawless medals. GG.